My wife thinks Star Wars is for losers, so she burned my entire collection. Exactly as the title implies, my wife, 37F, says I 31M, am not allowed to pursue my own hobbies anymore, as they are unhealthy. Before our marriage 7 months ago, I was interested in all sorts of things, playing video games for at least a few hours per week, collecting Star Wars figures. Some may say that was a bit childish anyways, but I enjoyed it nonetheless, painting Warhammer 40k, etc. These are things that I had done since my early teens. My wife wanted us to make healthy lifestyle changes after our marriage, which at first I took as just eating healthier, exercising, etc. I was totally on board for it. Everything was fine until I went down to the basement one day and noticed all of my Star Wars figures gone from the display shelf. All that remained were some limbs from a few of the figures. My wife was at work, so I sent her a text asking what happened to them. In the meantime, I rummaged through all of the garbage and finally found the figures in the bigger garbage next to the garage. Most of the cards were torn up and the figures dismembered, while others were completely burned or melted. I took a picture and sent it to her, asking if she did it. That night, after not replying to any of my texts, I confronted her. It turned into a huge argument about how my hobbies are immature and that she was repulsed by them, even threatening to not have sex with me until I gave them up. In the heat of the moment, I agreed with her, if only to get her to stop yelling at me. We haven't talked about it since, and I've unfortunately been abiding by her rules for the past 7 months. Though I've been secretly playing video games, buying figures, etc., she only found out about it one time, and she destroyed it immediately. I can't keep this up any longer. I want to have my own hobbies without her getting upset. What is the best way to bring the subject up again? And how can I let her know how much my hobbies mean to me? Commenter. This is abusive. She loved you for years while you did your hobbies, so what's changed now? She's shaming you for your passion and throwing out and destroying your stuff without talking to you about it. Was this a long time argument? Did she get after you for gaming/having your collectibles, or was it just one day she had enough? We had a few small disagreements in the past about me playing video games, but it was mainly just because I had played for too many hours. She never said a word about any of my collectibles. Commenter. You are 31 years old. Your wife doesn't get to let you do stuff. You get to do stuff on your own terms. She is being completely unreasonable and very controlling. Commenter. Exactly this. Marriage doesn't mean she's your mom or your boss. You are still your own person. Yeah, take your partner into consideration and all, but Jesus, your wife/husband/partner doesn't have the right to tell you what you are allowed to do. Hella, controlling partners are not healthy, not sustainable, and don't make for a happy environment. Commenter. The melting and ripping up his Star Wars stuff is insane. How would his wife feel if he decided he only wanted to see her in revealing clothes, so he just cut up and threw out all her favorite clothes but kept the slutty ones? Update 1. Thank you all so much for the words of support and guidance, it truly means a lot. Getting a different perspective on this has made me realize that she may be going through some internal or mental issues. She was the love of my life before all of this, and I am not going to give up on her by just getting a divorce without knowing the reason for her acting this way. I'm going to ask if she would be willing to go to a therapy session and move on from there. Update 2. Currently at my best friend's house, drafting an email to send to my lawyer first thing in the morning. I had decided to hook my Xbox up to the living room television and gauge what my wife's reaction would be when she came home from work and saw me playing. She immediately went to our bedroom and slammed the door. I walked in on her angrily texting something on her phone before she screamed at me that I was going back on my promises, and that playing games is unhealthy. I kept telling her that I deserved to have my own hobbies, and she told me that no real husband has those kinds of hobbies. I basically told her that she was free to go find a real husband, and I packed a small bag and drove to my friend's house. I feel kind of relieved but also sick to my stomach. I will keep updating when I can. You are all so supportive and deserve to be kept in the loop. Commenter. I'm going to be real with you. You cannot stay with this abusive woman and live a happy life. Divorce sucks, but admitting you made a mistake in choosing a partner and moving on now is better than admitting it after wasting 5 or 10 or 20 more years being unhappy in this mess. Now, here is another perspective. My fiancé is not into video games or action figures, but I still have a ton of video games and action figures displayed prominently in our living room, because I'm into them, and she likes when I'm happy. That's how healthy relationships work. Update 3. My wife has been texting me nonstop, asking where I went and telling me to come back to the house. She even claimed she was pregnant and that I was abandoning my own child, only to backtrack a few minutes later. I'm making sure to save all of these texts in case my lawyer thinks they could come in use. Update 4. Spent the morning talking to my family and a few of my other friends about the situation. They all agree that a divorce needs to happen, whether or not she is mentally ill. My sister even said that she had a bad feeling about her but saw how happy I was and didn't want to impose at the time. My lawyer has suggested not to confront or communicate with my wife until divorce proceedings can be put in motion. Currently going to my house while she is at work to gather my valuable belongings. Update 5. Not sure if anybody is still keeping up with my post, but I figured I would give another update. The divorce proceedings are currently underway. My ex-wife has been incredibly apologetic for not only the main incident in my post but also for how she's been treating me in general. She has also agreed to pay me a lump sum for the figures. We came to a mutual agreement in terms of the value. Overall, she has been acting surprisingly reasonable throughout all of this. I feel like this is a positive turning point in my life. Thank you all for giving me the courage to finally take action.